Hi, you said your name's Dan?
Yes.
All right, I'd like to thank you for doing this interview. I appreciate it, man.
No problem.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how open-minded would you say you are?
5.
5? I don't know. Do you think you should look at both sides of an argument before you make a decision on something?
No.
You don't think you should look at two sides?
No, not if the other side's ridiculous.
All right, fair enough.
Sometimes the other side is no other side.
There is no other side? All right. Do you trust your senses?
What's that?
Do you trust your senses?
No.
You don't trust your senses? Like
No.
putting on your clothes or walking across the street and stuff like that? Like your basic common sense or whatever? Like
Yeah, I do.
I mean, yeah, all right.
Yeah, I do. I mean, if I think I smell gas, I'll ask somebody else, do you smell
Yeah, stuff
gas?
like that or whatever.
I ain't gonna assume there's gas in the air.
All right, fair enough. Do you trust the government?
Yes.
Okay. Do you think the majority is always right?
No.
No. How do you think everything came to be? Do you believe in like the Big Bang, creationism, or you don't ever really have a belief in it?
Big Bang.
Big Bang? All right.
With the help of God.
With the help of God, so you kind of more like God said bang and
Yeah.
create everything? That's fair. What would be your definition of science? It's a tough question coming out of nowhere, with it. Would you agree science should be observable, measurable, testable, and repeatable?
Yeah.
It should be observable, measurable, testable, repeatable, like created in a lab or something like that?
Or explain why it's not.
That's fair. Do you think science should ever be a closed book?
No.
No? All right. What would be, to you, what's the difference between a belief and a knowing?
I believe in God, but I know that Chevy makes Camaros.
That's a good example. Another knowing would be there's two entities here talking. We know that for a fact. You agree? Yeah. All right. I gotta feel, all right. Cars going by and stuff. All right. So you're probably gonna think this is ridiculous, man, because you're more science, but it's being pushed more and more. So what shape do you think the Earth is? Do you believe it's flat? Do you believe it's without form? Do you believe it's an oblate spheroid like you've always been taught? Or do you think it's another type of shape?
It's that old oblique sphere thing that, not perfect circle, but...
Oblate spheroid like you've been taught?
Yeah, it's mostly circular, but
Okay.
yeah.
Do you mind, could I ask you why you believe that?
I mean, I've flown around the world.
You've flown around. Have you ever...
I've been in it. I talked on the phone from Korea with my parents in the United States, and they were 12 hours ahead of me, unless they were lying to me.
Yeah. All right, fair enough.
I've seen the curvature of the Earth.
Could I ask you where you see the curvature of that?
From up planes.
Planes, you think? You know who Neil deGrasse Tyson is? Astrophysicist?
Yes. I don't believe you can see it from plane. I mean, I've seen it on TV, so I probably assume that I've seen it, but like you say, don't trust your senses. I probably have not seen it, but I've seen it
on TV and stuff. Yeah, because I like to always refer people to, there's something called the Red Bull high jump, a guy named Felix Baumgartner. Have you ever seen that on TV? It's a guy who jumps out, it's like the highest high jump from like supposed space or whatever, and it's 127,000 feet up in the air. That's like more than like double or triple a plane goes. It's like 27 miles in the air. And Neil deGrasse Tyson says that's like, it's impossible to see the curvature there from there. And have you heard of Richard Branson before?
Yeah.
He does like the, I forget, he's a billionaire. He took people up 62 miles in there.
Yeah, and that jet that goes high.
Yeah, really high or whatever. And Neil deGrasse Tyson says you can't see the curvature from there too, actually. So basically, you can only see it from space, pretty much. So, do you know anything about like fluid dynamics, how water behaves, liquid? Would you? Yeah, you do. Would you agree with me? Water always takes the shape of its container and levels out. Yeah. So they say the Earth's covered in over 72% water. How could it be an oblate spheroid then? Gravity? All right, I agree with you. They can measure things at 9.8 meters per second squared falling, but I would disagree that things fall at that rate. I don't think that proves the shape of the Earth, but that is what we're told. I agree with that. That's what they say, gravity or whatever. But would you ever be able to practically demonstrate water conforming, you think, to the exterior of a shape, or no?
Put water in a bucket, tie a rope to it, and swing it around to the central force and just stay in the bucket.
Yeah, but that would be contained water, right? It's actually contained, not on the exterior of the bucket.
No, it's in a bucket with the top being open.
But it's contained with the inside of it, like on the exterior of the bucket.
Yeah.
Yeah. Couldn't give it. I'm saying actually, could you give me an example of it actually on the exterior of the shape?
No, but you can't with the. If you were to say that the world's flat, you can't either. I mean.
Yeah. I've. You ever seen the movie Matrix before?
Yeah.
Yeah. I kind of almost think it's like the Matrix or something, man. But never know. I don't know. All right. Do you think we breathe the same stuff in space? Like, if you were next to the International Space Station, outside of it with nothing on, do you think we breathe the same thing we're breathing right now?
No.
So they tell us space is a vacuum. It's not a perfect negative pressure system, but it's as close as you can get to a negative pressure system. And we live in a positive pressure system. Would you be able to give me an example of two opposing pressure systems existing side by side without a solid barrier? Because they're telling us our atmosphere is adjacent to the vacuum of space without a barrier.
An air curtain on a door when you walk into a supermarket.
Air curtain?
Yeah, an air curtain is.
I look for something more like, have you used a pressurized deodorant canister before? Like spray your hand?
But I mean, an air curtain serves the same purpose.
But it wouldn't be able to keep all that pressure in there, like a negative pressure, would it?
Yeah.
It would?
Oh yeah.
An air curtain?
Yeah.
It'd be able to keep a negative, like a vacuum pressure in there?
Yep.
Well, just a curtain?
Air curtain.
I'd have to see it, I guess. All right. Do you know,
I've seen it. Once you get over 5 inches of static going through a duct system and it comes around the sides, it will block it. It's a perfect curtain of air.
but it's actually a
You
barrier.
you could have 3 inches of static on one side and negative 3 inches on the other side of that curtain.
So you're saying there is some
Just
type of,
air.
so the curtain is
Just
an actual
air,
barrier
just a
though?
curtain of air.
And it's a curtain though?
Just, yeah.
So I guess it'd be kind of a barrier
Just
then.
the air shooting through. You could have 3 inches positive on one side, 3 inches negative on the other side.
So the curtain would actually serve as like some type
Happens
of a
all the
barrier?
time.
But it would be like a barrier actually?
Yeah.
All right, fair
An
enough.
unintentional barrier. That
Non-intentional
can
one?
form in a duct system.
All right.
Or on the opposite side of a fan.
Okay.
It
Do
happens.
you know what the star Polaris is? The North Star?
Yeah.
All right,
I've
you do.
heard of it.
It's right above the North Pole. Like I say, I kind of think it's without form, man. But whatever it is, whatever you believe.
That would be Star North. I don't know.
The North Star. Never. It's
Yeah.
only star up there that's stationary, basically.
Yeah,
It's,
it would be on a map.
it's only stationary star up
Yeah.
there, basically. And it's a fact. You can look at like a timeline lapse of it, and everything does perfect geocentric circles around it. So, would you be able to disprove that everything's actually spinning around us, causing the Coriolis effect in each part of the world? The moon would push the tides. The sun would contract the tides. They say you shoot a bullet west when the sun's there, and it'll dip down because of the Coriolis effect. I would say that's based off a false axiom. And if you shoot a bullet west at nighttime when the moon's there, it bounce up. And you know the difference between eclipses or no? Solar eclipse and a lunar eclipse?
Yeah.
Solar eclipse is when the moon goes in front of the sun, and the lunar eclipse, they say, is the Earth's between the sun and the moon, and they say it's the Earth's shadow casted on the moon from the sun. Would you be able to disprove? I think it's actually the sun blocking out the moon, though. Like a mirror reflecting off it.
The sun blacking out the moon?
It's on the other side. If the Earth's in between both your hands, it lines up perfectly to where the sun could actually block it out. Would you be able to disprove that?
The sun blocks out the moon?
In this theory, in what you believe in, it's the Earth's shadow. The sun's casting the shadow on the Earth, and it would always be a curved surface. But in the theory I'm talking about, it'd actually be the sun that blocks out the moon.
Okay.
Would you be able to disprove it or no? Probably not. I mean, you said you're not a physicist or whatever, man. And you said you're five open-minded. You said you're five open-minded. You think something's ridiculous, you're going to throw it aside. And a lot of people think the subject's ridiculous, man. So I mean, I can see where you're coming from if you're like that. Whatever.
Yeah, it's something that I never thought of disproving. So.
No, I never thought about it. I'm 44. Someone pointed out to me when I was 37. I thought it was the stupidest shit ever. I was like, man, that's so stupid. But I think you should look at both sides of an argument. And a lot of people are checking this out, and some scientists are having problems with it. But all right. I mean, that's pretty much.
Really?
Oh yeah, there's tons of scientists having problems with it. That's why this thing keeps getting bigger and bigger.
Like scientists that
like not the majority of scientists still believe what you believe, but there's scientists that got like mathematicians and stuff like that are actually questioning it. Nice boat. Yeah. But all right. You know what a logical fallacy is? Like, or can I give you an example real quick?
Yeah.
If
I mean, I've heard of it.
You can use it for different things. For this example, I'd say if we were at a tennis court right now and I threw a bunch of tennis balls on the ground, would that prove the tennis court's a round ball?
Tennis court's a round ball?
If I put like 15 tennis balls on the tennis court, would that turn the tennis court into a round ball? So just because you see circles in the sky, does that mean the Earth's a round ball? No. All right, fair enough. I mean, you've been a perfect interview. I appreciate your time. I'll hook you to $5, man.